Welcome to the podcast, which is all about the world of marketing on television through TV shopping networks and infomercials. Are we on the air? I'm your host, Sean Wilsey, and for over 30 years, I hosted shows on cable shopping networks, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and now I want to be your guide into this world, explaining how it works, why it works, what doesn't work, and introduce you to the people who are making it the success that it is today. Of course, right as I start recording, my allergies start catching up with me, so we'll be dealing with that. But listen, kind of an interesting show today because we're going to touch on a few different things. This will now officially be the final show for this season. We'll be back in the fall for reasons I will go into in a little bit, but I want to get through some business here first before we put the top on things for a few months anyways. I guess the top story tonight, as they used to say on the news, they don't do that anymore, do they? I was just in Houston for some things that I can't talk about at the moment. And I was there for a couple nights, staying in a hotel, and I had a chance to watch their evening news. And Houston has got to be market, well, they're the fourth largest city, but I think they're market 7 or 8, if I remember correctly. It's nice to know that the evening newscast has kind of gone into the toilet everywhere. In a market that used to be, when I would visit my family in Houston when I was a teenager, and we'd watch the evening news. Channel 13 was always the station that we saw. You had the dignified, mature anchors, plural. These people look like they're fresh out of college now. You can be 26 years old and work a top 8 market doing the evening news. And not just on air, but apparently behind the scenes, too. I was watching the morning show as I was getting ready to head out. And on the morning news, the anchor is telling a story about the Texas Supreme Court and how the Texas Supreme Court was going to be hearing arguments about, I think it was redistricting. As she's talking about the Texas Supreme Court, the dummies behind the scenes are rolling video of the United States Supreme Court and the building and the Supreme Court justices. So it's, oh my gosh. Evening news, I think, is going the way of the TV shopping industry, which is my segue into our big story today, because QVC, Qurate, the parent company of QVC and HSN, and then 2 retail divisions as well, on, what is the date on this? Let's get the date here. Wrong page, we'll see. On May 6th, announced their first quarter results, and we can sum it up this way. Yeah. Really nothing more needs to be said. Let's just put the top on the show here. Yeah, well, thank you for joining us for this edition of Are We On the Air? This has been a King Bobby. No. But really, I mean, that does tell the story. It's just, and I'm not going to dwell on this. I was going to do a whole episode on this. I thought, why bother? It's just rinse, repeat. It's the same story, different day. Their stock, because I woke up that Friday morning knowing their results were coming up like a kid on Christmas morning. Their results came out, stock market opened. Immediately, their stock dropped 30%. So the investment community is not liking what is going on. One of the big companies that evaluate stocks, I think it might be Zacks, I can't remember for sure, they downgraded, because there are experts, quote unquote, who will tell people, what to invest in a stock or not. They downgraded QVC to a strong sell. It's just they're saying get rid of this stock, Qurate. And I'm not giving you any financial advice at all. Believe me, just do what you're going to do. And it really has not. In fact, I didn't even look. I've been so busy. Let's see, where did it close out as of our recording today? Their stock Friday. Well, okay, it's actually recovered nicely. It's up to $3.84 a share. Compare that to iMedia, the parent of ShopHQ, which is at $2.29 a share right now, which in real money is 23 cents a share, because remember, they did a 10-for-1 reverse stock split some years ago. So that really is about 23 cents a share. Anyway, I don't want to go down that road. I can hear people tuning away. What does this mean? Why did their stock drop so much? Why? Well, it's simple, because QVC and HSN combined revenue decreased 13% in the first quarter versus first quarter of the previous year. QVC international revenue decreased 13%. And then, of course, they have retail operations as well, which were down 38% and 19% respectively. Well, where's this money go? What's the reason for this? Their reasoning is supply shortages, so they couldn't deliver on the electronics. It's been interesting reading your comments. Many people have left comments on my YouTube and my Facebook about QVC, and I'm seeing a trend. A lot of people are saying the product stinks. When they have ordered and they've received merchandise, the quality is not what they used to get. They feel like the value isn't there anymore. One person, I think, put it very well when she said they have 2 seasons. They have Christmas and then immediately go into spring. And I think there's a good argument there. There was a lot of plants and lawn elements. Now, the argument could be made that's what they could get since they can't get electronics. Why are electronics important to the TV shopping world? New customers. Electronics are a draw for new customers. Now, just because you have new customers doesn't mean you have repeat customers. In fact, many people that buy an electronics item on a TV shopping network never come back again. Never, ever, ever. They make that one purchase and they're done. And so it's up to these networks then to keep them coming back. Electronics are a very low margin item, meaning the companies, QVC, HSN, they don't make a lot of money when they sell electronics. They make a ton of money on makeup and cosmetics and fashion. So that's why you see those products so much. Big markup on those products. Electronics, very small, but it gets a new customer in. Bottom line is, whether it's supply chain issues or not, and there's some argument that, yes, that could be a big part of this, where are the repeat customers? Now, they did have some good numbers with their repeat customers, but it's not where they should be. Repeat customers are not what they once were. This, again, I go back to, because the repeat customer doesn't care about where the QVC stock is. They don't care about supply chain issues. They don't care about the warehouse fire, which is a terrible, terrible thing. They want to watch the show and enjoy what they're seeing and make a purchase. It's simple. And if they're not enjoying watching the show, if they're not enjoying the product, then they're not going to make a purchase. And a lot of people have been complaining about some of the things that we've talked about on past episodes. The shows are not engaging anymore. You have hosts that are not appealing, and I'm just going to leave it at that. There were some very blunt comments being made on my YouTube and my Facebook. You can read them if you want. And I'm not necessarily going to argue with any of those comments that were made. And so when you have hosts that are not appealing to the viewers aren't going to be there. You have to have appealing hosts. You have to have an appealing show for someone to want to watch. And a lot of things I gave my opinion on in past episodes of this podcast, people have been agreeing with, saying, yeah, there is something there. When you have a host that looks like she's in a costume and is ready to pick door number 2 on Let's Make a Deal, that's not necessarily the professional appearance that you want your host to have. So, and I go back to this. I go back to, you know what, just start, because the TV shopping industry is a very, what they call a high fixed expense industry. They have very high fixed costs, I should say. Excuse me, cost was the word I was looking for. And there's not a lot of ways you can get rid of that. Record the damn things. They got to go to maybe do 6-8 hours a day live and then just replay it. Audience, most of them will never know the difference because people don't sit there all day long like they used to. So you can drop your production costs by almost 2/3 in theory by doing that. While we're on the subject of QVC and HSN, a very interesting email, if you're an HSN customer, went out from the president of HSN to the customers on May 1st. So ahead of the results being posted for Q-Rate, remember Q-Rate owns QVC and HSN, the president of HSN, Rob Mueller, sent out this email. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he was basically, it says a letter from our president, dear valued customer, and he goes on to explain pricing issues, how HSN has not been immune to all the challenges, and how pricing has gone up. He's basically admitting that. And he goes on to say, after we assessed our assortment and pricing against the market, we did find some unexpected gaps that needed to be addressed. Listen, I love this guy for doing this. QVC should be doing this too. And maybe they did send out one and I didn't get it. I don't know. But he's saying, hey, you know what, customers? We hear you. We screwed up. We need to do better. I can think of a reason why every shopping network should be doing this right now. This is brilliant. I mean, Rob Mueller, I don't know if this was your idea or came from over your head, someone on the board or what. This is smart. My expectation is that you will shop with confidence at HSN and know that we're committed to providing entertainment, inspiration, and education around products that will enrich your life at a value you always feel great about. I assure you that you'll be pleased when you tune in to our TV channels, engage on our website or apps, and watch our streaming services. So he mentions the other ways you can get the show. I think the key takeaway here is committed to providing entertainment, inspiration, and education. One of the big questions has been, how do you differentiate QVC and HSN? I think HSN is going to go the more entertainment route. I think that's probably where you're going to see the celebrities. Their graphics are a little bit more exciting on screen than QVCs are. QVCs are a little bit more conservative in their in their appearance, in the way that they're done. So I think that's one of the ways you're going to try and differentiate. HSN, more entertainment, maybe more lifestyle-based. I don't know. QVC, a little bit more the traditional approach. But frankly, I think a couple of the hosts at QVC would be better suited at HSN, and vice versa. There's a couple of hosts at HSN that I think should be at QVC. So something maybe that might happen down the road. I don't know. Again, I think we're talking about an industry whose best days are probably behind it, but who knows? You find a way. You keep hearing the word pivot, and I know we're all tired of it. They find a way. They're going to be able to deliver. A couple other pieces of unfinished business. I've been wanting to play this audio forever. If you were alive in 1980, 81, let me set this up. This audio will need no introduction. Oh, and let me warn you, it's going to be stuck in your head.
'Cause I'm a woman, Angeline. I can bring home a bacon, Angeline. Fry it up in a pan, Angeline. And never let you forget you're a man.
Give her Angelie, the 8-hour perfume for the 24-hour woman.
I can work till 5 o'clock, come home and read you tickety-tock.
Tonight I'm gonna cook for the kids.
And if it's loving you one, I can kiss you and give you the shivering fit.
Angelie, the 8-hour perfume for your 24-hour woman.
Without even seeing, all right, that's, I'm not gonna, I won't high-V this one into the ground. Without even seeing the video, you can probably get the idea it was a little on the, shall we say, sensual side at parts. And you're right, you could probably not run this commercial today. You would probably have people complaining if you ran this commercial today. There were a couple sexual references in there in the lyrics, so I think that would pretty much 86 it from television today. That was a fragrance commercial for a fragrance called Angelie, and believe me, it got a lot of airtime in the 80s, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. The brilliance of that commercial is the fact it's a fragrance. Not once do they ever talk about what it smells like. They weren't selling the scent. They were selling the brand. They were selling the image. And for my money, it's one of the most brilliant commercials. I'll get it up on my YouTube channel so you can see it. One of the most brilliant commercials for marketing fragrance that has ever come around. Fragrance is one of those things, and I'm going to do a whole show on it. It's on my list of things to get out there eventually. That is very tough to sell on television. It pretty much takes a celebrity to do it. Dolly Parton has done it. Cher has done it. Because with these celebrities, you have a readily identifiable personality and traits. And so by connecting them with a fragrance, you don't really need to smell it. You have an idea in your head. This commercial, I'm just going to play it as I chat over this here.
'Cause I'm a woman, Angeline. I can bring home
There's,
a bacon,
in the music,
fry it up in a pan.
there is an attitude.
Let you forget you're a man.
Give her
There's an ideal.
the 8-hour
There's,
perfume
for the men
24-hour
watching, an
woman.
aspirational element here.
5 o'clock, come home and read you tickety-tock.
Tonight I'm gonna cook for the kids.
And if it's loving you one, I can kiss you and give you the shivering
And there's the key line right there, I think, to the whole thing. And so it really is brilliant marketing. You don't see a lot of fragrance advertised on television anymore, and I think that one really did raise the bar for doing it. A very successful product. I'm not even, I don't know if it's around anymore. I didn't even think to look about that. Listen, I mentioned earlier that this was going to be the last show of the season. I know I said that last December too, but we wound up just continuing to go. When I started this venture last year, I never could have imagined that honestly we'd get to 50, 51, 52 shows before we wrapped it up, but things kept happening, topics kept coming up. But I have some things going on in my life right now that are taking priority, and it's nothing I can talk about right now. We will Eventually, all will be revealed. Follow me on social media, and eventually you'll find out everything that is going on when I can freely talk about these things. And I hate to be coy like that, but I have no choice. So we'll just leave it at that for now. And so it's taking up all of my time. It really is. So I don't have time to devote to this because there's a lot of research that goes into all these shows, scheduling guests when I have guests on, arranging guests, and I don't have time to devote to it at the moment. Plus, summertime is terrible for podcasts. People are traveling, they're doing things, and so no one listens to them. And so what I would suggest you do is for anybody who has discovered this show, like I said, I think there's 51 episodes. I can see as shows are listened to, as they're downloaded. I have a little counter that goes up on a screen I can see, and I can see many of the, I think, really good shows don't have high listenership. So go back and listen to my Christmas commercial episode. I think it's a great one where I analyze some of the all-time great Christmas commercials, and there's some others out there that just don't have big listenership. Some don't deserve to. The first couple shows, don't listen to those. They weren't that good. But later on, we hit our stride, and so there's some really good shows, especially the interviews. Go back and listen to all the interviews. So go wherever you get your podcasts. Again, we're pretty much available everywhere now. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Odyssey, iHeartRadio, any app pretty much that has podcasts has it. Search for Are We On The Air. Make sure you would get the full name right. There's another podcast out there, Are We On Air? Not that one. Are We On The Air? You'll see my little cartoon image up there. And believe I actually have plugs. I have a couple things that I need to plug and mention. Gentleman by the name of Ray Garza, cameraman I used to work with, very talented cameraman, is also a very talented comic book artist and created a comic book called Tank McGregor. And it's a graphic novel, I guess, if you will. And he has a Kickstarter. And I promised him I would mention his Kickstarter because the man does deserve success. If you love comic books and graphic novels, you will like it. So let me just read his note. It says, I've just gone live for my latest Kickstarter campaign in partnership with Lesser Known Comics. It features all of LKC's newest books, graphic novels, full-length comics, shorter mini-issues, and sketch covers. If you're interested, click the link. And I'll put the link in my show notes. I don't know where these show notes go. Somehow people find them because I can see, again, that people click on them. So wherever those show notes wind up going, I will put this link. You can also just search Lesser Known Comics Batch 4 on Kickstarter, and it will come up. He's a talented cameraman, talented artist, really talented artist, actually. And so check that out. Plug number 2, depending on when you're listening to this, I want to invite everyone, and I'm going to be here for some of these. I guess it's almost like a personal appearance I'll be making. Not for all these, but the Luling, Texas Watermelon Thump is going to be coming up. Orson Welles, what do you think of the Watermelon Thump? Yeah, he's excited. Because it's an event that's being put on in the city of Luling, Texas. Goes on every year. It's a big event. And one of my cousins is now on the executive committee of this event. And so I really hope anyone, if you're in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, it's an easy drive. Couple hours from Houston. Austin, probably an hour. San Antonio, probably about an hour. So it's just kind of centrally located between those cities. It's June 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. The big parade is Saturday morning, June 25th. Kicks off at 10 a.m. There's a watermelon eating contest at 12:30. There's music all day in the pavilion. Cornhole tournament at 2 p.m. Champion Watermelon Auction at 3 p.m. I can't wait for this. I love things like this. Sunday morning, there's a car show at 10 a.m. Salute to Veterans is on at 2:30. The Seed Spitting Contest is at 3 p.m. When do they crown the Thump Queen? That's what I'm looking for. There, it's Queen's Coronation. That will be the first night. So Thursday, 7 p.m., they crown the Watermelon Thump Queen. I was just in Luling for a pre-event a couple weeks ago, and already the girls competing for Watermelon Thump Queen, their pictures are up all over the city. So if you happen to be in the area, make sure that you check those out. It is going to be a fun event. Again, thank you for listening. This is just the end of this season. I'll be back in the fall, hopefully late August, early September, once hopefully I can make my big announcement as well, because I want to be able to do that too. And So that'll also go up on my social media, which segues into, I hope you'll check me out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Sean Wilsey. It's my full name, ShawnWilsie, and on Instagram at SWilsey. Subscribe, leave reviews, please, wherever you get your podcast. That way you'll never miss a show. And you can listen to the archive of past shows. There also is a direct link. I cannot remember what my website, it's libsonsomething.com. I don't know. But anyways, thank you for downloading this edition, season finale edition of our We on the Air. This has been a King Bobby production.
Yes, I know, Travis. That's why we give such bargains.